Let's make the ultimate Nashville hot chicken tenders. First up, slice the chicken breast into tenders. Add to a container with buttermilk and the spices.
Allow to marinate in the fridge for at least an hour or up until overnight.
Once the chicken is marinated, we need to make the dry dredge. Combine the flours and the remaining spices.
Now for the wet mix.
Add 2 eggs to the buttermilk from the chicken marinade, pickle juice, hot sauce, and the MSG. Preheat a pot with veggie oil. Whisk in a tablespoon of your wet mix to your dry. Now we're ready to coat our chicken into the dry mix, wet mix, and then finally the dry mix again. This is what we're aiming for. Carefully place your chicken into the fryer. While the chicken's frying, combine all the ingredients for the spice oil mix. After 6 to 8 minutes, it's time to pull the tenders out of the fryer, and just look at how crispy they are. Coat them immediately with the hot spice oil. Grab a slice of bread and top it with both tenders and a pickle on each. And boom, there we have the ultimate Nashville hot chicken tenders. Dig in and enjoy. Homemade chocolate mud cake, let's go. In a bowl, sift together the flour, cocoa powder, baking powder, and soda. Add the sugar, milk, oil, vanilla, and eggs. Mix together whilst adding in the boiling water. Add to a lined baking tin, then bake at 150 for 70 minutes. While the cake's cooling, bring the cream to a boil and then pour over the chocolate. Spoon the ganache onto the cake. And boom, dig in and enjoy my homemade chocolate mud cake.
Let's make homemade churros from my cookbook, Made by Morgan.
First up, grab a saucepan, add the water, sugar, butter, and salt and allow to melt. Then add in the flour and stir for 2 to 3 minutes. Once the mixture comes away from the side of the pot, transfer to an electric mixer and beat for 1 minute to cool slightly. Then slowly add in your eggs and beat until smooth and shiny. Now this is what we call choux pastry. Transfer the mixture to a piping bag fitted with a star attachment. Carefully pipe lengths of the choux into a deep fryer using scissors to snip off each one. Fry until golden brown on all sides, drain, and then dust in cinnamon sugar. Serve them up with a hot Nutella sauce and boom, dig in and enjoy my homemade churros. Homemade chicken ramen, let's go. First up, marinate the chicken. You can find the full recipe for this below. Then in a saucepan, add the water, soy, mirin, garlic, ginger, and one of Continental's chicken stockpot sensations. Next up, cook the chicken on medium heat on both sides and then allow to rest. Then add the dried mushrooms, noodles, and bok choy to the broth and bring to the boil. Serve up the ramen, top it off with the chicken, and then garnish as you like. And boom, dig in and enjoy my homemade chicken ramen.
Come with me to make the perfect cinnamon scroll.
This is how I make Paris breast.
For the choux pastry, combine the flour with the melted wet ingredients and mix on low heat for 2 minutes. Transfer to a stand mixer, mix to cool, and then slowly add in the eggs. Then pipe out the Paris breast rounds and top off with flaked almonds and a dusting of icing sugar. Bake at 160 without the fan for around 40 minutes. Once cooled, slice in half and make the filling. You can find the full recipe for both the praline and the mousseline cream in the caption. Pipe both fillings in, top off with crushed hazelnuts, and then sandwich together. And boom, dig in and enjoy your very own homemade Paris breast. Homemade golden syrup steamed pudding. Let's go. Preheat an oven with a steam function just like my brand new Westinghouse one to 170. Cream together the butter and sugar until pale and fluffy. Then add in the eggs and whip for a minute. Add in the flour, baking powder, and milk and mix until combined. Then add the golden syrup to a base of a pudding tin and top it off with the batter. Top it off with baking paper and a lid, and the best result is bake in the steam oven for around 40 minutes. Remove from the oven, carefully flip onto a serving platter, and now it's time to serve. Serve with extra golden syrup and vanilla ice cream, and boom, dig in and enjoy. Homemade strawberry panna cotta, let's go.
I'm vanilla, baby. I'll choke you, but I ain't no killer, baby. She 28, telling me I'm still a baby. I get love in Detroit like Skillet, baby. And the thing about your boy is I don't like no whips and chains, and you can't tie me down. But you can whip your lovin' on me. That's right, whip your lovin' on me.
The easiest fudgy brownies in less than an hour. Let's go.
I promise you, this will be like the simplest recipe you've ever made. It's literally 6 ingredients.
In a bowl, sift together 150 grams of plain flour and 75 grams of cocoa powder. Add 2 cups of sugar, 4 eggs, and 240 grams of melted butter. Mix together and then add the chocolate chips. Add to a baking tray and bake at 180 for 25 to 30 minutes. Allow to slightly cool, cut off the edges, and then slice into bars. I mean, seriously, just look at that fudginess.
In less than an hour, we've created the delicious gooey brownie that will please absolutely everybody.
All that's left to do now is dig in and enjoy.
This is how I make cinnamon rolls at my bakery. Step 1. Roll, roll, roll. Step 2. Cut, cut, cut. Step 3. Tray up, proof, and bake them. Chef's kiss. Just look at those layers.
Homemade popcorn chicken and chips. Let's go.
First things first, we need to make our popcorn chicken.
Grab the chicken thigh and dice into cubes. Add to a container with the buttermilk, salt, garlic powder, paprika, white pepper, and MSG. Allow to marinate for at least an hour.
Now that our chicken's marinating, we're gonna grab our potatoes. We need to peel and dice them into chips.
Soak in cold water for half an hour and then boil until just soft. Allow to air dry and then deep fry at 150 degrees Celsius for 4 minutes. Then fry at 180 for a further 5. Now to make the dry dredge, combine the corn flour, plain flour, white pepper, salt, paprika, custard powder, and the garlic and onion powder. Drain the chips, season with chicken salt, and set aside. Then coat each piece of chicken into the dry dredge and fry for about 3 to 4 minutes or until golden brown. Drain the popcorn chicken, top with chicken salt, and then serve your chips and chicken. And boom, dig in and enjoy my homemade popcorn chicken and chips.
It's Australian Open time, so let's make a tennis ball.
Homemade caramel chocolate mousse. Let's go. First up, add the caramel to a bowl over a pot of simmering water and allow to melt. Add the gelatin leaves to a bowl with the cold water and then remove the chocolate from the heat. Add in the egg yolk, stir to combine and then set aside. Add about a quarter of the cream to a pot and bring to the boil. Then stir in the gelatin leaves and mix to combine. Next up, whip the egg whites and sugar until soft peaks form. Then in a separate bowl, whip the cream to soft peaks as well. Grab the caramel base and then whisk in the gelatin and cream mixture. Then fold in the egg whites and cream until smooth and fluffy. Divide the mixture evenly between your serving glasses and then place into the fridge for at least 4 hours to set. Top the mousse and then boom, dig in and enjoy. Homemade Biscoff smoothie. Let's go. Homemade iced tea popsicles. Let's go.
The time has come. Maeve and Melbourne is nearly ready to open our doors. We open this Thursday for breakfast, lunch and dinner, 7 days a week, brekkie and lunch, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights dinner. It's been a crazy year, pouring our heart and soul into this venue, and I cannot wait to share what we have planned. We've got some beautiful modern European food, share food for dinner, and typical individual style plates for breakfast and lunch. I can't wait to see you here.
Come with me to open my restaurant for the very first time. My name's Morgan, I'm 22, and for as long as I can remember, it's been a dream of mine to have my very own restaurant. And after almost a year of construction, I'm finally ready to open the doors. My first job was to get started on the focaccia dough. Then I got started on a bunch of different prep items for the night, just so the dinner service ran smoothly. This one here is my roasted fig and apple tart. Now the focaccia's proved, I topped it with olive oil and sea salt and baked it to perfection so it was fresh and ready to go for the dinner guests. 5:30 came and the doors were officially open for dinner. Here we have just some of our dishes like the pistachio pesto, pork cotoletta, half roast chicken, and burrata. Once all the savouries were out, it was dessert time. My favourite has got to be this tableside Biscoff tiramisu. And there we have it, service number 1 done. Come with me to what's been the busiest day since I opened my restaurant. Now, because it was a Saturday, that means we also serve breakfast, so I started on the brekkie section. This is our chili fried eggs. It's one of my faves. After brekkie, I got onto all the prep that I needed to do for dinner. The first thing was my Biscoff tiramisu. I finished it off with cocoa powder and then let it sit in the fridge to absorb all the flavours. Then I got on to making my Basque cheesecake and focaccia dough. The one thing about this focaccia dough is it's super sticky, so it makes it kind of hard to work with. Then before I knew it, it was time to set up for dinner. We had 2 sittings all booked out, so I knew we were in store for a crazy night. And boy was I right, service was hectic but damn fun. Here we've got just some of the stuff off our menu. And you already know the most popular dessert was that Biscoff tiramisu. And boom, that's service for another night.
These roads of flames are catching a fire.
Come with me to create a dessert with the help of Microsoft 365. My first step is to draw what I'm trying to achieve on OneNote. It allows me to have a clearer picture of what I'm trying to plate up before jumping into the kitchen. Now that my plan is set into place, I start working on the pastry element of my fig and apple tart. I roll it out, blind bake it, fill it with my frangipane, sliced fresh figs, and then bake it until it's set. Now it's time to serve my dessert, but the thing is, I'm not in the restaurant every single night, so for the nights I'm not there, OneNote makes it super easy to share my design with the rest of my team. And boom, there you go, my fig and apple tart designed perfectly with OneNote.